The Parsha, Shem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, Shlach lecha anashim, hence it's called Parshas Shelach, send men, v'yosiru es eretz Canaan, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to spy out the land of Canaan. Okay, so we have the story of the Meraglim. What was the last subject matter that the Torah discussed? Before the Meraglim, the end of Parshas Baaloscha discussed what? Anybody? Discussed what? Don't all answer at once. Anybody? Okay. So the answer is it was the story of Miriam. In fact, it's one of the 6 reverences. You should always know what they are. She spoke evil about Moshe Rabbeinu. Were they related?
I think so.
Okay.
Some kind of sister or something like that?
They were brother and sister, correct. Okay. So, what is the juxtaposition of the two subject matters? Namely, the story of Miriam and the spies. Very good. So we're gonna explain it. Lama nismacha Parshas Meraglim. Why is the Parsha of Meraglim, the story of the spies, the Parshas Miriam? Why are the two subjects juxtaposed? The story of Miriam speaking evil about her brother Moshe, and the story of the Meraglim, the spies, who also spoke negative about Eretz Yisrael. Lefi Shelacha al iskei diba shediba b'Rachel, that she got punished because of the bad and evil talk she gave over to her brother, about her other brother. Okay. V'Rashaim halalu, and these wicked people. Now we're going to explain this at length in the next piece. Were they wicked? Were they kosher? What was going on there? But Rashi here brings the Tanchuma. Rashayim halalu, and these wicked people, rove v'lo locha musar. They saw what happened to Miriam, and they didn't take musar. So you see how bad Miriam was punished. So why did they realize that how chomer it is, how serious the offense of lashon hara is? So that's why the two things are juxtaposed. That part of the reason why the punishment was so severe, that for each day that they were there speaking bad, Yom Lashana, for each day they got punished with a year, bad. So, why such a severe punishment? That's why the Torah juxtaposed the two things, to show us that the reason why they were punished so severely is because they had a living example. And why did they learn from Miriam how bad lashon hara is? That is the Tanchuma explaining the two subject matters, why they are together. So first, I'm going to tell you a fascinating idea from the Ostrovtzer Tzaddik. Does anybody remember the last piece I sent over from the Ostrovtzer?
I remember the name.
I did say a piece once from the Ostrovtzer about, anybody?
Say the first word. Get going.
The difference between Makos and Sfiras Omer. Shmuel, remember that piece? Why did we learn out about the Chashivas of a Talmid Chacham? Yeah. Remember that piece? Yeah. From Makos, which is in Parshas Kiseitze. Why did we learn it out from, when the Torah says 50, it's really 49. That whole piece over there. Remember that beautiful piece?
The power of the rabbis, right? That was the whole argument.
But the power of the rabbis was the Gemara, but the punchline was that the reason why the Gemara used later on is because that makes you to a great man. To use a drasha to save a man from getting one more hit, even though it's only one, that's what makes you to a great man. To save a guy from saying a Sfiras Omer, that's what makes you to a great man. Okay, that was another beautiful piece. You'll find it on.
Catch it in the link below.
On other shiur. Okay, so the Ostrovtzer says another fascinating avera. This is a very interesting avera. So we just said from the Tanchuma that the Meraglim should have learned from Miriam and take a lesson from Miriam, and that would have prevented them from speaking lashon hara about Eretz Yisrael. Frech the Ostrovtzer. What musar could they have learned out from Miriam? Miriam spoke about a person, right?
Yes.
So maybe you can't speak lashon hara about a person. Like for example, you can't say, "Oh, this guy always comes late." I don't mean anybody in particular, right? That you can't do. But to speak about sticks and stones,
I have a Ralph Lauren shirt. I'm not invited.
right, that break my bones, but names that never hurt me. It's not true. That's not a Torah expression, Max. By the way, sticks and stones will break my bones, and so will names. Names will hurt me. So getting back. So Fractal Asraf Tzaddik, what are you talking about? They're supposed to learn out from Miriam, not to speak lashon hara about Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is a land. So maybe Miriam, I understand. I learned from Miriam, she was wrong, because she spoke about Moshe Rabbeinu. What does that do with me? Says Miraglim. I didn't speak about a person. Well, that's why I gave an example about the hypothetical buckle that comes late. That for sure I know you can't do. You can't speak about a person. But Moshe, but the Miraglim spoke about Eretz Yisrael. Maybe that's okay because that's not about a person.
Didn't they talk about people? Like in their actual words?
They didn't mention people's names.
What exactly?
They said, yeah, fine. There were giants there. Okay, so we know from the Chavetz Chaim that even that's lashon hara, right? We know this now. But back then,
What exactly did he say then? This land sucks.
what? Oh, they spoke negative about Eretz Yisrael.
The actual land?
Yeah.
Not the people living in the land?
No, it was about the land in
They're
general.
disgusting. They're not. You don't like them.
Thank you, Max.
Things like that.
The giants there.
Giants of people?
Yeah,
Just because they're
I'm
different?
saying it's about the land. There's so many giants there. It kills all its inhabitants. There's a lot of cemeteries.
Neighborhood.
Right. Thank you. At least somebody's on my side over here. It's like two against two over here. So no, but I hear your point. But all that stuff that you're saying, we know now from the Chavetz Chaim. So you hear Shmuel? Now you with me? So Fractal Ashraf, sir, what are you talking about? That she's supposed to learn out from Miriam about the Isra lashon hara? That's about a person. What does that do with the land? We're talking about sticks and stones. You hear the kasha? Very geschmack kasha. This is so beautiful. Not just that, let's make it even stronger. Rashi brings a Parshas Yisro. The Torah tells us a very interesting lie. There's a prohibition that when a Kohen Gadol is walking up the steps, he has to be careful that the cloak that he's wearing goes all the way down to the bottom.
Right, the wedding dress.
Very good. Okay? I know we're in South Beach, but I don't think the Kohanim wore dresses, Max. But Shkoyach. Okay, so, but you hear what I'm saying? Rashi brings that. You have to make sure the wedding dress, Max, or your pants went all the way down to the bottom. So the Mizbeach does not get aroused, does not get affected and feel embarrassed that it has to see the nakedness. I don't know what that means over here. We're not talking about a private area. We're talking about even lower, right? The lower bottom of the leg. So that's the prohibition. That the Mizbeach should not have to see your nakedness. So Rashi brings the Kavach Chomer. If the Torah cares about Eitzim Avonim, somebody help me out over here. Eitzim, wood, Avonim, stones, and the Torah says that you shouldn't be mevazah them. You shouldn't disgrace, right? The Mizbeach, which is not a human being, it's made out of sticks and stones. So Kavach Chomer, all the more so, a person should be careful about not embarrassing a person that was made, b'tzelem Elokim, in the form and image of a person. Okay, that is the famous Rashi that they all quote in the Shmuzim, about how important you have to be in the cover of your friend. So Torah cares about not embarrassing the Mizbeach, which has no feelings. So of course you have to care about embarrassing your friend, right? That's the famous Rashi in Parshas Yisro. Now. Okay, so that you can learn out, right? You can learn out Kal from the Chomer. Have you ever found in Chazal? I know Shmuel likes a little Gemara. I'm not a Gemara guy, but have you ever heard of a Chomer Kal? Shlomo? Max? No. There's Kal v'Chomer. You can learn out something light, for sure something stronger, right? But you hear the kasha, it makes it stronger. So how could you do a Chomer Kal? That's the Ashraf's kasha. So how could you learn out from huh?
Who says it's a former call? Maybe it's more severe to curse out the land than to curse out the people.
No, it can't be. It can't be, for sure not. Land's not affected by it. So let's try. Beautiful. No, okay, no, it's wrong. It's wrong.
It's a nice answer, but it's wrong.
You're saying something bad about Hashem. Hashem made the land. Eretz Yisrael is our land. And of course, if you're a card member of the modern Orthodox world, Eretz Yisrael is the major part of the religion. Okay, everything's about the.
Are you saying you're against everything? Like,
I didn't say that. I said that's a major part of the religion. Eretz Yisrael. Okay, but Shmuel did say something.
Oh man.
Are you with me so far, Shlomo? Yeah. Right. Oh, that's amazing.
That's gonna repeat the story. I literally can repeat.
He's very good. Max was with me before, against the two of you before. So
that's why he sits here. We sit here.
It's two against two. That's funny. I used to have some of those. I got it right away when he came in.
I didn't even realize.
You didn't get it right away when he came in? He didn't call so. No. I got it right away when he came in.
That's the thing about it.
Watch it.
You're right. What's that?
Shmuel, that's what the Kal V'chomer is. What do you mean? I'm not sure. Rashi, Kal V'chomer. We don't have a Chomer Kal V'chomer. You see that the Torah cares more about. Obviously, I mean, it's a simple concept about human beings than about a land. That was the Kal V'chomer that we brought before in Parshas Yisro. So Sefek the Ostrovzer, Shema Kakasha. How are they supposed to learn from Miriam not to speak Lashon Hara about Eretz Yisrael? That's only a land. And we just had a Rashi before that Kal V'chomer. So what do you see? That maybe only a person you can't speak about. Well, who said that you can speak about a land? Now we're going to say a Kiddush. Not quite as a Kiddush as Shmuel said before, but it is still a Kiddush. Last week, we spent a lot of time discussing the fact that Moshe Rabbeinu was a big somebody? Anav. Very good. He was a big Anav. Vayish Moshe Anav Ma'od Mikol Ha'adam Asher Al Pnei Adama. Anybody remember the Kiddush I said last week? Asher Al Pnei Adama? My own Kiddush, anybody remember?
Translated
Asher Al Pnei Adama. That the reason why he became an Anav is because he realized that he's from Pnei Adama, because he's from the ground. Who are you to be so hardy? The pasuk says about Moshe. He's Moshe. Avram does say Vanoch Offer of Efer. Very good. But this lashon of Asher Pnei Adama was said by about Moshe Rabbeinu. It's interesting. He's an Anav, but yet he writes in the Torah that he was an Anav. Okay, that's for another time. You like that kasha, man? Okay. He also writes, and he died too, by the way. So. Right? Well, no, not quite. I mean, oh yeah, yes. Some say Meshua wrote it. Right, very good. But Dimma, very good.
Well, he knew he was going to die, right?
Yeah, but he wrote, and Moses died.
Right, but he knew.
But he wrote it before he died.
Before he died.
Okay, very good. Very good. Okay. So Moshe Rabbeinu was a Anav, the Kol Moshe Pnei Adama. Now, Moshe Rabbeinu was so humble, he didn't consider himself to be like a person. What did he consider himself to be? I'm saying a Kiddush now. The Ostrovzer. In his eyes, he was such a humble person, he felt that he wasn't even a person. He was Eitzav Avonim. That was the vote that we said from the Chavetz Chaim before. Chavetz Chaim said last week, I mean, he said it a long time ago and read it, but we said it last week from the Chavetz Chaim. Okay, Shlomo liked that one. Okay, we said last week from the Chavetz Chaim why the Torah put together the story of Miriam, then it says Moshe was on of. Why are we discussing, why are we giving a eulogy for Moshe Rabbeinu all of a sudden? Teretz was showing that he didn't care about Miriam because he was so humble, and it was still wrong, Kal V'chomer, if you speak Lashon Hara about somebody who does care about what you say, who is makbid, how terrible it is. So Moshe Rabbeinu was such a was such an unav, he didn't care about what people said about him. That's why it says over there, Vayishma Hashem, and Hashem heard. It was enough to be also the fact that Hashem heard. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't hear. That's the deal. Vayishma Hashem, Hashem heard. As opposed to Moshe who didn't hear. He didn't. When I say he didn't hear it, that's quite a machlokes. Whether he did hear it, Lashon Hara, or he didn't hear it. So if you learn he didn't hear it, then that's what it means. Hashem heard it and he didn't. No, but even if you mean he physically heard it, wasn't deaf, he didn't hear it, meaning he didn't dare hear it. He didn't think about it. It didn't mean anything to him. It meant nothing. So from such a person, you could take Musar that you can't speak even on Eitzav Avon and even on wood and stone. The question that we asked before was, how were the Meraglim supposed to learn from Miriam? Not to speak Lashon Hara about a person, about Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael was not a person, and Moshe Rabbeinu was a person. That was the question we asked before. So Shlomo, did you figure out how we answering it? Max? We're saying that Moshe Rabbeinu had a din of not a person. Moshe Rabbeinu was so humble that he had a din of Eitzav Vavonim, of a non-human, of sticks and stones. Will break my bones. So Zachta Ostrov, a beautiful vart. What was the kasha? How could you learn out from Moshe Rabbeinu? Not to speak about Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is not a person. There it is. Moshe Rabbeinu also wasn't a person. He was such an anav that he didn't even care what people said, as the Torah testifies about it. As the Chavetz Chaim said in Radin, that whole Levot, that's why the Torah brought in, that he was an anav next to the story of Miriam. That even though he didn't care, and it was still wrong, he's still Kalachaimer, you can't speak about somebody who does care. So the Ostrov is a beautiful word. Moshe Rabbeinu had a din Eitzav Avanim. So of course you can learn that from Moshe Rabbeinu, not to speak bad about Eretz Yisrael. Because Moshe Rabbeinu had a din Eretz Yisrael. Just like you can't speak bad about Moshe Rabbeinu, although he was a physical person, but he had a din of a non-person. He had a din of sticks and stones. So the Meraglim should have learned that of Kalachaimer, not to speak about sticks and stones, mamish. I'm going to end the Ostrov's Vart. Then we'll take questions. Zokta Ostrov's a beautiful pshat. By the way, Rabbi Newhouse gets the credit for introducing me to the Ostrov's. So when I saw this word, Ostrov's, I got so excited, yeah. Rashi says, on the word, Shelach Lecha, anybody? Shelach Lecha. It should say Shelach, send spies. What's send for yourself?
Because you decided.
So to Rashi, somebody was Mama Sedra, or at least he remembered from last year. Shlach lecha ledatcha. L'shidasar. According to your opinion. Meaning you think that it's a good idea to send spies, so I'll tell you how to send spies. I'll tell you who to send and what to do. But Hashem said, don't worry. Don't think I'm giving you credence. I'm not saying it's a good idea. Shlach lecha. L'shidasar. That you think it's a good idea, so I'll tell you how to do it. But I don't hold to the idea. You should know, I don't hold to the idea. That's what Hashem says, Ishlach Lecha. Fine. Zokta Ostrov, sir, such a beautiful word. You should be dancing. We're going to have to put up a mechitza here after this word. It's such a beautiful word. The Ostrov tells you, if you learn Rashi the way I did, you close it right now. You don't know how to learn Rashi. That's not what Rashi was saying. Although it sounds good, you have a Geshmak and Magachir over here. He's also, okay, yeah. But
he's humble, so he says.
Yeah, I was just going to say he's humble too. He's also humble and available for bar mitzvahs. But enough about him. So we learned Rashi Kipshuta. Dr. Ostrov said that's not what Rashi means. Rashi says so beautiful. Shlach lecha ledatcha. According to your opinion, that's what we said before. No. This is what he means. Hashem says to Moshe Rabbeinu, according to your opinion, the way you worked on yourself and you became about midas, the way you value yourself, the way you're such an honor, the way you carry yourself, That in your eyes you're nothing. You're so humble. Then you could send messengers. Why? Because the people will learn Musa not to speak Lashon Hara on Eretz Yisrael. Because why? Dr. Ostrov said this idea is Rashi saying there in the next Rashi. We had a kasha before. We're just going to review and then we'll say pshat in this Rashi. Or as Pesach Kron would say, we're going to review and then we'll end with a great story. But we're not going to end with a great story. For that you'll have to hear Pesach Kron. Remember, I'm just going to review again. We had a kasha before. How are the Meraglim supposed to learn out from Miriam? Miriam spoke about a person. Well, so how are they supposed to know about Eretz Yisrael? For Shlomo, we said that Moshe Rabbeinu and his anivus, he had a din non-human. He was so humble that he had a din Eitzav Avodah. So Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, you know how you can send spies? If they're lacha, if they're like you, Moshe. If it goes according to the way you conduct yourself, because they learn out from you that you are a anav, and since you are anav, therefore you have a limud. That's just like you can't speak Lashon Hara about Eitzav Avanim, namely Moshe. You can't speak Lashon Hara about other Eitzav Avanim, namely Eretz Yisrael. Because then you can learn out of Kavachomer. But if it's not a Datcho, if it's not like you, then how would they learn out of Kavachomer not to speak Lashon Hara about Eretz Yisrael? Eretz Yisrael is a land, and Moshe Rabbeinu is a person. So that's the Pshat of Rashi. Hear the Oimik, the deep Pshat of Rashi? Let me finish. You see the Oimik Pshat of Rashi? It's so beautiful. I'll say it again. According to the way you conduct yourself, that you're nothing, then you can send. Why? Because then it's possible that they're going to accept the Musa not to speak Lashon Hara about the land. Because they realize that just like they couldn't speak about you and you're low, so in the case you're low, you're Eitzav Avanim, you consider yourself to be Eitzav Avanim, so you have a limud that they can't speak Lashon Hara about other people, about a land that literally is Eitzav Avanim. But that's Hashem, that's only Lacha. The way you worked on yourself and you became an Anav. But according to the way you really are, Hashem says about Moshe Rabbeinu, I know who you really are. You're really Wapon Yisrael. You're really Moshe Rabbeinu. You're really the great tzaddik. So according to the way you really are, then you can't send Meraglim. Then you can't send spies. Because then they won't learn out the Kavachomer from because then they'll have the kasha that maybe only about a person you can't speak Lashon Hara. But how could they speak? But how would they know not to speak about a land? So that's how it fits into the Rashi. Shelach lacha, the way you carry yourself, that you can send. But says Hashem, the way you really are, the Moshe Rabbeinu, that I know who you are. If you're the way you really are, then you can't send, because then you have the Ostros's kasha. That how could you learn out a limud from a person to sticks and stones? But the way you carry yourself, you could learn out. A deeper shot in Shelach L'chol, the Daitcha. The way you carry yourself with anivas, then you can send. But the way you really are, says Hashem, then you can't send, because then you'll have the Ostros's kasha.